was a backlash when I was cast. I was 26 and I was unknown. And people went, that is not Doctor Who. I always knew I wanted it to be quite physical. And I wanted the comedy to be quite physical. And I knew I wanted him to feel very clever, but at the same time, to not quite understand the human race. Has anyone ever told you that you're a bit weird? They never really stop. In my first audition, I wore a tweed blazer, just because I had one. Yeah. And then I put a bow tie on, and Stephen and Piers and Beth went, oh, no. And then they were like, maybe. Bow tie. Bow ties are cool. Yours is very cool. Thank you. And then it slowly dawns on you that you're actually going to have to do it. I loved the fez. I literally, as soon as I heard, I was like, can I have the fez back? Can we get the fez in again? I wear a fez now. Fez is cool. I miss playing a character that can bounce from A to Z like that, and that he's the cleverest in the room, but also the silliest in the room. I wear a Stetson now. Stetsons are cool. No, just being the Doctor, he's the Doctor, you know. What a character. Of course, there's always a part of you that goes, I never want to go. There are no parts like this. I think it's a good time for me to move on, and we've got the 50th anniversary, and it's the biggest year in the show's history. And I'm playing the part, and I pass it on with a smile to the next guy, and I say, good luck, buddy. You're going to have to work hard. I know who they are. If I had to pick someone, I'd pick him, because I think he's great. And weirdly enough, after the 11th hour, he came up to me in the street and said, oh mate, well done, I watched your episode last night, it was brilliant, I think you're really good. And I really needed that. I needed a sort of boost, and I never forgot it. I'm excited because I know what's coming, and that he's going to have a blast. Coming out of the regeneration, it wasn't massively painful, it was just very exciting. And like Whammo, I think going into it probably is a bit more painful. Yeah. It's time.
He didn't go around saying goodbye to everybody, did he?
Cool. Look at my face. Look how cool this stuff is. I don't know if I'll be doing the Doctor's Dance with the rap, but I'd quite like to get it in the Christmas special. What Last Hurrah and the Drunk Giraffe. It's been great, man. It's been, it's a really cool job. It'd be hard to top.
It's an emotional business, isn't it? He's in LA at the moment, but I'm sure we all agree he is a brilliant Doctor and he'll be very much missed. I mean, my massive ears deceived me, or did I just hear Matt using the word he? And him could be a bit awkward if the next Doctor turns out to be a woman. It could happen. It might happen one day. Could be. Well, all will be revealed very, very soon as the next Doctor has entered the building, ladies and gentlemen. The next Doctor. I'm so scared I'm going to say the wrong thing. We are live, and it seems the whole world is watching. Thank you so much for your messages. I think the internet is melting at the moment. It's fair to say that Doctor Who has come up with some pretty ingenious ideas over the years, but nothing beats the fact that the leading man can change his appearance. It's a process, if you didn't know, called regeneration, which means when the Doctor dies, his body rejuvenates and he comes back to life with a new look and a different personality. Brilliant. From William Hartnell to Matt Smith, the Doctor has been played by 11 actors, and the 12th has some pretty big shoes to fill.
The Doctor is an eccentric hero. He's a time-travelling meddler who says he never meddles.
He's kind of everything and everything at once. He's old, he's young, he could be your grandfather, he could be your brother.
I would describe as the Lone Ranger.
Somebody who is a force for good, a force for fairness, and generally has a sidekick.
Susan and I are cut off from our own planet, without friends or protection.
Bill Harton was the wise old gent.
He was older and had gazed him an air of authority younger doctors lacked.
There you are, my son. It's nice to see you two well again.
Told everybody what was what and how to do it. Regeneration is such a clever idea.
It's a part that 12 different actors will and have played.
This had never been done before, and we had no idea if it was going to be accepted.
Patrick Troughton did the hard job. He turned it into something different but the same, and we all loved him.
He was like the teenager, really, but in this older body.
Who was also a bit eccentric and playing his little flute. My doctor, Peter Davison, was more man of action than had previously been the case.
Bit glam, actually. Bit handsome. Big scarf. Crazy.
I'm going to whisper this, but I think Tom Baker will always be the Doctor, like the Doctor.
You may be a doctor, but I'm the doctor. As a definite article, you might say.
If you say Doctor Who, one of those free association games, like Tom Baker, because everybody has their first Doctor.
There was a quirkiness about him which I find sort of unsettling.
Something wrong?
John's doctor was flamboyant. He was a dandy. He was quite a maverick as well. He was quite stern.
The weapons that you have on Earth are quite nasty enough as it is.
Give the cloak a flourish, darling.
Colin had his big frock coat with his kind of clown-like colours.
You're not serious.
I'm always serious. When I was asked what kind of costume I would like, I described pretty much what Christopher Eccleston eventually got.
When Christopher Eccleston walked out of that TARDIS, I went, yes!
He was so good and he was so dark and he was so modern.
Why don't you just die? You would make a good Dalek.
I've always had a soft spot for Sylvester McCoy.
I always thought of him actually a little bit like Peter Falk in Columbo.
I think he was the cutest doctor.
Scatterbrained, but actually working it all out underneath.
He's the most beautiful of all the doctors. Drop dead gorgeous. He's a kind of philosopher doctor in a way. I'm going to betray Patrick Troughton because I have to say David Tennant was my favourite doctor after Patrick Troughton. He's very on top of things, is David.
He's very good at opening doors.
He's very in command.
There's something about Matt Smith, it has the charm of an hyperactive puppy.
His physicality was so extraordinary.
He's so elastic, amazing.
I've got to be in the show when we're celebrating its 50th year, and it's wonderful to kind of be part of something that so many people are talking about and so many people love and so many people are just really excited about.